Chapter 61, 61, Chapter 61. The protection period is over. The mob of monsters appears. The sky gradually darkened. Su Yang didn't plan to go back just like that. He had already stored enough resources in his ring of glory. He had already decided to rest outside the city, and after resting, he would continue to search for monsters to kill. Before the ranking battle began, he wanted to become stronger, so strong that he could crush the geniuses of the upper realm's large clans. They didn't know the exact strength and trump cards of these geniuses. He could only seize the opportunity to become stronger. He would not allow the slightest possibility of failure to happen. The night passed quickly. At that moment, everyone on the entire blue planet was nervous. That was because the technology had a 1-month protection period. There would be no restrictions on the monsters in the wild. They would go into a riot and vent their anger that had been restricted for the past month. The bronze and silver bosses would lead their underlings to create chaos. Human cities would become their first targets. A protection period has ended. The area restriction for monsters of all levels has been lifted. The boss monster's range of activity has been removed. As time passed, at this moment, the prompt that appeared when heaven descended again echoed in all humans' heads. At the same time, all the humans living in the city could hear some noise outside the city. "Mom, I'm scared." "Shush, don't make a sound. Mommy's here, don't be afraid." Some of the weaker countries lacked basic strength and could not build walls to protect the city. The people could only rely on themselves to dig and build underground passages for self-protection. "Let me in. My dad is the chief, and I have enough money. You have to protect me. I beg you guys, let us in. There's a pregnant woman here. Let her in first. The monster is coming. Do you really want us to die outside?" In Eagle Alliance, due to the slow construction of the city walls, some of the city walls were only half completed and could not withstand the monster's attacks. Therefore, countless citizens who were in danger wanted to enter the military's territory to avoid this round of monster attacks. Outside the army, it was crowded, and everyone wanted to get in. Within the Dragon Kingdom, "Warriors, we are protecting the city walls. Even if we die, we must protect the city walls. We must not allow any monsters to enter the city." Thick and tall walls surrounded the city, and countless warriors were already waiting inside the walls. Although the people had worried expressions in the city, they were still moving as usual. Some awakened professionals had signed up to be volunteers, acting as the backyards of the soldiers in the war zone, ready to climb the city wall and fight at any time. At this time, outside the city wall, among the monsters, Su Yang was constantly waving the Heart Slayer in his hand, killing the bronze bosses one after another. Killed deep water fish. Gained 378 experience points. Acquired 20 gold coins. Received 4 dexterity. Acquired special attribute artificial gills. Artificial gills. Effect: able to breathe underwater. After killing the bronze boss deepwater fish, he successfully plundered an attribute that allowed him to breathe underwater. By governing a country, Su Yang already had a titan body that could adapt to any extreme environment. As such, this attribute was not very useful to him. However, the effect of the ultimate growth was to plunder 5 points of agility from killing deepwater fish, which was much more than the attribute fragments obtained from killing ordinary monsters. "Who tilde?" He let out a breath of turbid air. Su Yang looked at the monsters around him and smiled. Just now, after a month had passed, The monsters that were restricted in the wild instantly became excited, especially after the boss monster's restricted area was removed. These bosses vented their anger that had been suppressed for the past month. Gather all the monsters around you and destroy everything you encounter. Furthermore, they would follow the scent of humans in the air and attack the cities where humans gathered. Along the way, the many monster groups merged, forming a larger group. But they met Su Yang. Now, the number of monsters surrounding Su Yang didn't seem to be a lot. It was only a few 100,000. And all of this was because he had massacred some of the high-level monsters' habitats in this area yesterday. A large number of monsters had died before today. As such, the number of monsters that had gathered was not as high as he had imagined. However, even so, the group of nearly 200,000 monsters had attracted Su Yang's attention. Was this a tide of monsters? No. This group was of walking experience points, gold coins, and attributes. Storm, violent storm. Raging flame, incinerating flame. Looking at the group of monsters before him, Su Yang waved his Heart Slayer. That kind of AoE attack, use that kind of skill. With the help of the wind, the strong wind carried flames that could burn everything and swept toward the group of monsters. Su Yang was not just an ordinary swordsman. Ever since he had comprehended the sword Dao, he had been thinking about creating a large-scale killing move like a mage. He had the support of the platinum knife technique and the reference of the magic forbidden scroll. He had initially created this attack based on the Gale Saber technique and the Raging Fire Saber technique. Now it seemed that the effect was not bad. Under the combined attacks of the wind and fire, some of the monsters with lower strength were instantly killed. A swift kill dash gained 24 experience points. It received 1 gold coin. It received 1 agility shard. A jumping ability increased. The increase in jumping ability was a good attribute, but it was not very useful to Su Yang. As for the attributes given by the other monsters, they were the same as usual. They were so ordinary that they could not be any more ordinary. In fact, they were even a little trash. Su Yang was originally thinking about whether he should use the lucky item directly. However, when he thought about it, he had already maxed out a special attribute and activated the third effect of his talent. Now, he didn't seem to be in a hurry for the other special attributes. Therefore, he decided to keep it for now and use it during the ranking battle. Perhaps there would be an unexpected effect. As he thought about it, Su Yang's pace of killing monsters did not stop. He turned around and charged into the group of monsters. Chapter 62, Chapter 62, Self-Created Combination Technique, Everyone's Reaction. 62, Chapter 62, Self-Created Combination Technique, Everyone's Reaction. Level increased, current level LV36. Received 300 independent attribute points. As the monsters in the tide continued to die, Yang Su gained a lot of experience and even leveled up. He had reached level 36. Just yesterday, after a day of killing, he had also leveled up. Su Yang needed tens of millions of experience points to level up. After killing these monsters, the experience points obtained were not much. Therefore, after 2 days of killing, it was already not bad for him to level up by 2 levels. After distributing the independent attribute points, Su Yang looked at the remaining monster tide in front of him. Most of the monsters had died, and only a few were still struggling. However, no matter how much they struggled, they would still die and turn into ashes. He only waited for a while, and the sea of fire that was blown by the wind burned the last monster to ashes. A kill rock monster gained 78 experience points. It received 1 gold coin. Received a constitution fragment. The skin hardening effect increased. Giant rock monster, no wonder it can withstand the roasting of the fire. Looking at the last monster that died in the sea of fire, Su Yang's face was calm as he muttered to himself. The attributes given by the rock monster in front of him were not very good either. Total HP killed has exceeded 700,000. The damage of the slaughterer has been increased to 140%. As the group of monsters in front of him was slaughtered, the true damage of Su Yang's god-tier skill, Slaughterer, had increased to 140%. In the future, his attacks would deal true damage beyond normal. This allowed Su Yang's attack method to obtain a significant improvement. Their overall strength had increased by a huge step. I'm 300,000 more away from completing the condition of killing more than 1,000,000 health points and unlocking the third effect of slaughter and plunder. 300,000, it should be done in a short time. Su Yang thought to himself as he looked at the information of the mythical level skill, slaughter and plunder. Now that there was a monster tied, he was sure that it would not be difficult to kill 300,000. But Su Yang's eyes swept around, but there was no sign of any monster. It seems that I need to go back and find those monsters with low strength. After thinking for a moment, Su Yang turned around. He had killed most of the monsters here. Perhaps it would take a long time for the number of monsters to recover. Only by going back would they be able to encounter more monsters. Fortunately, in order to gain as much experience as possible, he had gone to an area far away from Rock City. Therefore, there should be a large number of monsters that were closer to Rock City. This was enough for him to max out the last 300,000 kills of his slaughter skill. At this moment, outside Rock City, the monster horde continued to attack the thick and tall city wall. On the city wall, the cannons and machine guns that had been set up were firing non-stop. A large number of soldiers were holding long-range weapons, shooting at these monsters. As they continued to attack, they realized that these monsters seemed to be very fragile. The monsters outside the city seemed to be around level 7 or 8, and a few of them had only reached level 10. These monsters were too weak for most of the warriors who had completed their advancement missions. Most of the soldiers in the Dragon Kingdom's war zone had completed the intermediate promotion mission. A small number of them had even completed the advanced advancement mission. Only a small number of them could complete the normal promotion mission for physical reasons. Thus, their overall strength was very strong. Captain, this isn't right. I've just looked at the forum. The monsters attacking the city in other areas are all over level 10, and there are even bronze and silver bosses. Why are the monsters on our side so weak? They're too weak. What's the matter? A young soldier asked his captain curiously as he shot the monsters below. You brat! The captain kicked the young warrior and scolded him with a smile. You can still secretly browse the forum at this time. But you're right, what's the situation with the monsters on our side? They seem too weak. It wasn't just the soldiers on the city wall who noticed it. Some of the high-ranking generals, Rock City's city lord, and the administrators had also realized that their Rock City seemed too simple in a situation where the monster hordes were happening worldwide. Have you investigated clearly what's going on? We haven't found out yet, but according to speculation, it might be related to Heavenly Sun. Heavenly Sun, Yes, if it's him, then there's no mistake. Heavens, heavenly son, if this is really because of him, that's too terrifying. It's that terrifying. Just one person was able to reduce the level of the monsters in Rock City to what level? There are at least hundreds of thousands of level 10 to level 20 monsters in Rock City. Did he kill all of them by himself? Oh my God, is this really something that humans can do? The high-ranking military officers gathered together and started to discuss and analyze the situation. Very quickly, they thought of Heavenly Son. It seemed that other than Heavenly Son, no one else was capable of doing such a thing. After knowing the reason, they were all shocked. This was beyond their imagination. Originally, they had thought that Heavenly Son would at most help to reduce the number of high-level monsters. In the end, he had actually annihilated all the high-level monsters. Right, how's the equipment collection going? The Lord of Rock City asked. I've already collected 2. There are still 2 more in the imperial capital of the Dragon Kingdom. After the monster tide ends, they will send them over through the forum for trade. Only 4, not bad. Has the protection period of the Blue Planet New District ended? Yes, Flame Master. All right, let Jai and the rest get ready. The ranking battle is about to begin soon. Yes, Flame Master. A figure sitting on a golden throne of flames in a world full of burning flames and flowing lava said indifferently. The servants beside him were extremely respectful. The ranking battle has finally begun. Heavenly Son, the one who completed the advancement that only appeared in thousands of years. It would be interesting if I could assimilate him. A figure with a brutal and terrifying aura was laughing coldly in the dark abyss. Chapter 63, Chapter 63, Endless Slaughter. Rock City. Outside the tall city walls, the monsters' roars rose and fell. Faced with the wall of Rock City, which had not been able to do anything for a long time, most of the monsters already intended to retreat. Even the 2 bronze bosses in the group of monsters did not have the patience to continue wasting their time in Rock City. Roar! A roar was heard. The bronze boss led the group of monsters and started to retreat. On the city wall, the soldiers who had let go of their hands watched the monsters gradually leave and finally relaxed. Although these monsters were only of a few levels and were still very weak. But they were too many. As far as the eye could see, it was a dark mass of monsters. It was too frightening. Now that the monsters had retreated, they finally dared to relax. When all the warriors were relaxed, the young warrior suddenly said, "These monsters are running. Should we chase them? F*CK, do you want to die? There are hundreds of thousands of monsters. Without the protection of the city wall, you will be gnawed to pieces if you chase after them." The captain at the side immediately stretched out his leg and kicked his butt as he cursed. The rest of the warriors laughed and discussed as they watched the monsters retreat. They've retreated. It's good that they've retreated. Nothing happened in Rock City, and the soldiers who let go were not injured. This is great. I still have to thank Tian Yang. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been completely uninjured. Our Rock City is so lucky to have someone like Tian Yang. The managers and the city lord standing on the city wall couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. Although the monsters' levels were not high, there were too many of them. If they continued to attack the city with 300,000 to 400,000 soldiers, it was inevitable that some of the defending soldiers would be sacrificed. To be able to retreat now was truly a happy matter. Oh my God! Look, why did the sky suddenly change color? Suddenly, someone on the city wall pointed at the sky where the monsters had retreated and shouted. This cry immediately attracted everyone's attention, and they all looked in the direction where the monsters had retreated. He only saw the sky above the monsters, which was originally dark, suddenly turned fiery red. Then a large fire appeared in the sky and directly surrounded the whole group of monsters. At the same time, a strong wind suddenly swept through the air. That was, this. Is this the anger of the gods? It's too terrifying, the wrath of the heaven. If these flames descend upon Rock City, what are we going to use to resist them? On the walls of Yan City, regardless of whether it was the ordinary soldiers or the ordinary people, they were all shocked by the terrifying scene of the Sea of Fire. I didn't expect my luck to be so good. I've just returned and I've already encountered this group of monsters. Looking at the monsters that were engulfed by his sea of fire and wind, Su Yang slowly retracted his heart slayer and smiled. At the same time, he also noticed the two bronze bosses in the middle of the monsters. Under the attack of the sea of fire and the strong wind, the two bronze bosses could not hold on for long and were burned to death. Killed the silver-backed Ape King. Received 600 experience points. Acquired 27 gold coins. Received 5 constitution. Obtained special attribute from the silverbacked giant Ape King Agile Climb. This special attribute is automatically adjusted. Acquired special attribute Nimble Body. Nimble Body. Effect, agility plus 50, your limbs will be more flexible. Killed Poisonous Toad King. Obtained special attribute from the Poisonous Toad King Poison Immunity. A poison immunity. Effect, you will be immune to poison attacks of a lower rank than you. The two bronze bosses that were killed gave Su Yang 2 attributes, a nimble body and poison immunity. Nimble Body. After obtaining the Nimble Body attribute, Su Yang felt a warm current flowing into his body and felt that his hands and feet were very flexible. With these 4 limbs, I'll be more flexible in future battles. Su Yang thought to himself. Then Su Yang looked at the other attribute, poison immunity. Immunity to all poisons could increase Su Yang's body's resistance to all kinds of poisons. It was a pretty good attribute. The attributes he had obtained from these two were pretty good. Su Yang nodded in satisfaction. At this moment, not many monsters were left in the Sea of Fire. After a short while, they were all burned to death. Level increased. Current level LV37. Received 300 independent attribute points. The group of monsters was annihilated, and a large amount of experience gained allowed Su Yang to level up again. At this moment, Su Yang's gaze was focused on another matter. Accumulated killed over 1,000,000 HP. Killing and praying really increases damage by 200%. The third effect of the level-up skill, Slaughter and Plunder, has been unlocked. The number of kills he had accumulated from his Slaughter and Plunder had exceeded 1,000,000, and he had successfully unlocked the third effect. Su Yang quickly checked the ability of the third effect. Slaughter and Plunder, passive. A level, mythical. Effect 1. Effect 2. Effect 3, Endless Slaughter. This effect will be activated when combat mode is activated. For every enemy killed, there will be a layer of slaughter effect. Killing effect. With every additional layer of killing effect, your strength will double. There is no upper limit. At the end of the battle, the accumulated killing effect will disappear. Endless Slaughter, killing effect. Su Yang's eyes widened when he saw the third effect of Slaughter and Plunder. This passive state was in the face of many enemies. The more enemies he killed, the stronger he would be. This was too powerful. With the killing effect of endless slaughter, my confidence in the ranking battle has risen again. Su Yang's self-confidence was about to explode. After being in a good mood for a while, Su Yang gradually calmed down. He planned to see how many attribute fragments he had obtained from the killings during this period of time. He also noticed that the city gate under the wall of Rock City had opened. An armed vehicle was driving toward them, probably to check out the situation. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Su Yang took out the teleportation stone and activated it. 3 minutes later, he was directly teleported to his home. After returning to his familiar room, Su Yang relaxed. Thinking of the gains he had obtained from killing for the past 2 days, he was full of smiles and couldn't wait to check it out. Chapter 64, Chapter 64. Su Yang's hidden card, the appearance of the ranking battlefield. 64, Chapter 64. Su Yang's hidden card, the appearance of the ranking battlefield. More than 700,000 gold coins, he exclaimed. In other words, we've killed more than 70 monsters in the past 2 days. Su Yang checked the gold coins he had obtained and estimated the number of monsters he had killed in the past 2 days. He couldn't help but whisper to Kai. This differed from the millions of dusk dire wolves he had killed with the platinum forbidden magic scroll in the Twilight Dungeon. He had relied entirely on his own strength to kill so many monsters. If I don't calculate it, I really don't feel anything. This is crazy. Su Yang shook his head slightly. Then he glanced at his reflection in the mirror. His eyes were bloodshot. At the same time, he carefully sensed that there seemed to be a kind of restless emotion in his heart. Soon, Su Yang understood that this was probably due to the 2 days of continuous killing, which had accumulated hostility and killing intent. He calmed down and slowly calmed the killing intent in his heart. As the last bit of killing intent dissipated, Su Yang also collected his thoughts and began to look at the attribute shards he had obtained. Strength, constitution, agility, and strength. These 4 attribute fragments added up to more than 70. He didn't check it carefully and exchanged it all for attribute points. Strength plus 2161. Constitution plus 2436. Agility plus 1743. Intelligence plus 1304. After the exchange was completed, Su Yang's basic attributes increased by more than 7,000 points. Immediately, he felt the energy flowing in his body, continuously strengthening his body. His strength, constitution, agility, and strength were all increasing rapidly. He could feel his body growing stronger and his strength growing. He clenched his fist and casually waved it a few times. The speed of his punch could already pierce the air. Feeling the power in his body, Su Yang was happy and looked at his current attribute information. Basic attributes: Strength 5710, Constitution 5941, Agility 4634, Strength 2413. With these basic attributes, my overall strength should be even higher. Su Yang thought to himself and then sorted out his cards. First of all, his most powerful trump cards were Sword Draw and Godhood. The 15 divinity points he had obtained from killing the Dusk Evil God's clone were enough for him to use Sword Draw 3 times with 50,000 times charged power. With this trump card, he could turn the tables no matter how strong the enemy was. Next was using his body as a saber and the Twilight Ring. The Dusk Ring could extend the explosive state of Sword Draw and Mad Blade by 2 hours. There was also the Destruction Titan form. This was also a powerful trump card. Finally, the third effect of the newly unlocked Slaughter Predatory effect was Endless Slaughter. After carefully sorting out his combat power, Su Yang realized he was too powerful. In addition to these trump cards that could increase his combat power, he still had Deathly Immunity, Substitute Dolls, Twilight Seal, and Eternal Status, which could save his life. Of course, there was also the protective effect of Heart Slayer. After sorting out his current power and cards, Su Yang was looking forward to the next ranking battle. Although he felt very aggrieved to be targeted by those large clans in the upper realm, he still felt very uncomfortable. However, at the same time, he was still very eager to fight with the geniuses of the upper realm's large clans. In comparison, what was the difference between the two? Time passed by slowly. Su Yang took a shower, then calmed his mind and adjusted his state, waiting for the ranking battle to begin. He didn't know when the ranking battle would start. However, the estimated time was also fast. The sky was already dark. Today was an unforgettable day for all the humans on the blue planet. Trillions of monsters formed groups and gathered together, attacking human cities one after another. Monsters had already occupied many cities, and countless humans had died. Even the Dragon Kingdom, which was well prepared. Under the attack of the Hell monsters, he still paid a heavy price. A large number of warriors died on the city walls in order to protect the city behind them. As time passed, it was late at night. The monster tide that had affected the entire world also gradually receded. The humans who had survived the disaster looked at the desolate and dilapidated scene and cried out in pain. In the Dragon Kingdom, on the city walls of many cities, the exhausted warriors who had fought hard for a day lay on the ground with their weapons in their arms to rest. On the blue planet, both humans and monsters were exhausted. And at this moment, boom! A deafening sound suddenly appeared and reverberated in the ears of all creatures on the blue planet. Heaven had changed. The sky, which was originally dark, suddenly seemed to shatter. Then a huge secret dungeon that covered the entire world appeared in front of everyone. Everyone could clearly see the situation in this secret dungeon. There were lush forests, towering trees, and dense ferocious beasts. From the outside, it didn't look like a human could stay in the lower zone. Then what is that? The mirage, or no, there's a real world inside. What the hell happened? Was that a dinosaur? That's too scary. Countless people raised their heads and looked at the secret dungeon suddenly appearing in the sky. He's already here. The fate and future of mankind. Heavenly Son, can he really fight against those monstrous geniuses of the great worlds? At this point, I can only choose to believe in Tianyang. On the blue planet, the higher-ups of the various countries who had received the information in advance looked at the secret dungeon that had suddenly appeared in the sky. Their faces were gloomy as they muttered to themselves. A warning! A warning! The Abyss World, the Flame World, the Dragon World, and 108 other worlds have launched a ranking battle against the blue planet. Ranking battlefield activated. Selecting ranking for large-scale secret dungeon battlefields. Selection successful. The ranking battlefield has been selected as a large-scale secret land, Dungeon Desolate Savage Land. Countdown to the start of the ranking battle, 23:59:59. The mysterious prompt from heaven once again echoed in the ears of all the humans on the blue planet. At the same time, The information regarding the ranking battle was also known to everyone. A ranking battle. Oh my God, what's going on? Why do we humans have to suffer like this? F***CK, are we humans going to be finished? Those who had just received the news of the ranking battle found it hard to accept. They were all filled with despair. They're here. Su Yang looked at the wilderness in the sky and whispered. Chapter 65, Chapter 65, Strengthening of Heart Slayer, the ranking battle begins. Then the mysterious prompt from heaven appeared in his ear. Your overall strength is detected to be number 1 on the blue planet. Do you wish to participate in the ranking battle? I'll participate. Su Yang nodded without hesitation. You have earned the right to participate in the ranking battle. Hint, as a native blue planet participant, you only need to survive for a month. After the ranking battle ends, you will win. Once you choose to participate, you will not be able to leave on your own after entering the ranking battlefield. The mysterious notification briefly explained the rules of the ranking battlefield to Su Yang. Su Yang nodded. This information was similar to what Shangyuan Cheng sent him earlier. There's still one more day before the ranking battlefield opens. Su Yang raised his head and looked at the countdown to the ranking battlefield. Then he noticed the message Shangyuan Cheng had sent to the forum. Brother Heavenly Son, I've already conveyed your message to the other people on the combat strength rankings. Currently, only 10 of us are qualified to participate in the competition. As more and more people completed their promotion missions on the blue planet, the promotion missions were different, and the difference in strength between the same level was huge. As such, the previous level rankings had been updated to become the combat power rankings. Currently, Su Yang is firmly at the top of the combat power ranking. What do they think? Su Yang asked. Most of them passed, but the God's Chosen has not replied. Do you need me to ask again? Shangyuan Cheng replied. No need. If he insists on seeking death, then let him participate. Su Yang didn't care about the competition of the Chosen One. Initially, he had thought that the various races from the upper realm who had suddenly joined the ranking battle on the blue planet were all here for him. These were all his problems, and he wanted to solve them himself. Not letting the others participate was also for their good. However, Su Yang had no choice since someone wanted to court death. After a brief chat with Shangyuan Cheng, Su Yang exited the forum and looked at the remaining time left on the countdown timer. After he was more confident, he went to rest. He was ready to rest and adjust his state to the peak to welcome the ranking battlefield tomorrow. The Endless Flame Territory. It was a great world filled with flames and lava. On the golden throne, a figure glanced at the 6 figures condensed from flames below. Yan Fen, you were born with a divine flame body, and your talent is extraordinary. You've also completed the Overlord Advancement and experienced a transformation in the Slaughter Paradise's secret realm. Even if you've just stepped into Silver, your basic attributes have already broken through 1,000. Your strength far exceeds those of the same batch. I think even that human who completed the Advanced Mythical Mission is definitely not your match. This time, the ranking battle in the new Blue Star server will be led by you. Yes, the Flame Master. A figure formed from flames replied respectfully. In this ranking battle, you don't need to get a good ranking. You just need to bring back the human who completed the Mythical Advancement mission in the Blue Planet's new district. Even if I can't bring it back, I can't let the people from other worlds get it. Do you understand? The figure on the golden throne said coldly. Understood, Flame Master. The 6 figures below replied in unison. Flame Master, why is it so special to complete the mythical advancement mission? Suddenly, Yan Fen asked curiously. Although it had only completed the tyrant advancement, it was confident that it was not weaker than the mythical advancement. Hence, he was extremely curious as to why the advanced level of myth was so special that even the Flame Master, who had already become an immortal god, wanted it. It's not something you should know now. The figure on the golden throne said indifferently. The Abyss World. Tai Yuan, you will lead the team this time. No matter what, you must bring back the human who completed the mythical advancement mission, even if it's a corpse. The Elf World. Spirit, you will be the leader of our spiritual realm. The Dragon World, the Machine Race, the worlds that had suffered backlash and participated in the ranking battle on the Blue Planet, had already decided on their participants. They were just waiting for the ranking battlefield to open. The next day, Su Yang woke up early. He relaxed his entire body and was in his best condition. After washing up, he found that there were messages on the forum. He opened it and found that it was a message from the soldier. After a simple glance, he was a little surprised. Then he quickly opened the trading section of the forum and found that his account had already received 4 silver-grade swords and equipment. What a timely move! Heartslayer also knew that time was tight, so it didn't hesitate, took it from Su Yang's hand, and began to devour and absorb it. Life weapon strength has dramatically increased. It received feedback from life weapon. Acquired a large number of experience points. Level increased to level 38. Received 300 independent attribute points. As the West Station absorbed the 4 silver blades, their energy was again fed back to Su Yang through the life contract. This allowed him to level up once more, reaching level 38. After distributing the 300 independent attribute points, Su Yang looked at Heartslayer. This time, Heartslayer's strength had increased again. The spell break effect had already grown to 50%. The other growth-type effects had been greatly improved. At the same time, the Heartslayer also gained 2 new effects, Certification and Seal. Sealing effect. After attacking the target, there is a 10% chance to seal the energy in the target's body. This lasts for 1-3 seconds. A seal of 1 to 3 seconds was already mighty. In an intense battle, a second's difference could determine the outcome. When attacking a target, there is a 16% chance of petrifying the target. It was a control-type ability. It was not bad. However, from Su Yang's point of view, he was still happy about the increase in the blade's toughness and strength. The improvement in these 2 aspects would allow him to execute the Heartslayer better. Before the ranking battle, the Heartslayer had been strengthened again. It also made Su Yang stronger. Unknowingly, it was almost time for the ranking battle to start. Who tilde? Su Yang took a deep breath, held the Heartslayer, and was ready to go. 10, 9, 8, 2, 1, enter. When the countdown to the ranking battlefield reached 0, Su Yang did not hesitate and chose to enter. Then, in an instant, he felt like he had been dragged into a dense forest by Chun's song. Roar! The roars of ferocious beasts reverberated throughout the forest. You are qualified to participate in the ranking battle. Entering large-scale secret land, Dungeon Desolate Savage Land. During the ranking battle, you are not allowed to leave the ranking battlefield. Chapter 66, Chapter 66, Body of Fire, immune to damage. after Su Yang entered the ranking battle. From the Abyss world, the Flame world, the Dragon world, and so on, the geniuses of all the races from the large worlds that had launched the ranking battle on the blue planet also entered the ranking battle one after another. Has it started? Can Tian Yang do it? He'll do it, we believe in him. That's big shot Heavenly Son, I see him. After the ranking, battlefield opened. On the blue planet, countless people looked up at the sky and the situation in the desolate wildlands. The ranking battle was a battle that concerned the future of the blue planet's humans. It was an existence that was closely related to every human on the blue planet. Therefore, the scene of the ranking battlefield dungeon was projected in the sky for everyone to see. Not only the humans of the Blue Star, but the races from all realms who had launched the war to conquer the Blue Star could also see the situation inside the ranking battlefield. However, they could only see the images and not hear the sounds. Similarly, it would not be of any help to the participants inside. Old man Yan, why is your Yan region also participating in this? The experts from the various realms who were also paying attention to the ranking battlefield also noticed each other's existence. A chuckle suddenly came from the Abyss world. Within the Yan region, the figure seated on the golden throne laughed indifferently. What's wrong, Nether Lord, do you want to try? No. Your Yan clan is too hot to handle. I don't have the mood to fight with you. HMPH, then shut up. I've heard that there's a genius in the Yan region called Yan Fen, an inborn divine body of flame. He's amazing. In the Abyss, the Nether Lord laughed. Divine body of flame. Amazing, one of the top 10 physiques in heaven. I didn't expect such a genius to exist in the Yan region. It seems that they have come prepared. In the void, the other figures who were paying attention to the ranking battlefield sighed when they heard this. When the figure on the golden throne heard the Nether Lord reveal the information of his realm's geniuses, his expression turned cold, and he didn't continue to reply. Instead, he cast his gaze towards the ranking battlefield, looking for Yan Fen's figure. This is... Soon, he saw Yan Fen's figure. What surprised him was that the human who had completed the mythical advancement mission on the blue planet happened to be not far from Yan Fen. The two of them would meet very soon. We're in trouble. The Flame Master, who was seated on the golden throne, could not help but frown when he saw that Yan Fen was about to meet Su Yang. The ranking battle would last for a month. In the beginning, Yan Fen had already encountered this human. When Yan Fen enslaved this human, he would still have to resist the siege of geniuses from other worlds. Too many things could happen in this 1 month. It would be very difficult for Yan Fen to protect this human. He had never thought that his genius Yan Fen from the Flame territory would not be able to enslave that human. In his opinion, no matter how strong this human was, he couldn't be that strong in such a short time. Yan Fen, on the other hand, was an existence that had received elite training from the moment he was born. Not only were they born with divine flame limbs, but they had also completed the Overlord advancement method, which was only comparable to mythical advancement. The mythical advancement mission was too difficult. Even Yan Fen, who had the divine flame body, could not defeat a level 30 gold boss when he was Iron level 10. In the end, he could only choose to advance as an Overlord. To make up for the difference in basic attributes between Destiny advancement and mythical advancement, Yan Fen had even entered the secret realm of Slaughter Paradise and transformed once. His basic attributes had increased greatly, and they were not weaker than the attributes of the same level of mythical advancement. They might even be stronger. Therefore, they were full of confidence in Yan Fen. Old man Yan, this must be Yan Fen from the Yan region. You're so lucky to have met your target as soon as you entered. I wonder if you can hold on. Ha ha ha. In the Abyss world, the Lord of the Underworld, who was paying attention to the ranking battlefields, also noticed that Yan Fen and Su Yang were about to meet and laughed loudly. That's Yan Fen. This human from the blue planet is the one who completed the mythical advancement mission. It seems like they're going to meet. Don't know if this Yan Fen is lucky or not. In the void, the experts who were also paying attention to the situation on the ranking battlefield heard the Dark Lord's voice and looked toward Yan Fen and Su Yang. At this moment, in the desolate wildlands, Su Yang held the heart cutter in his hand as he strolled through the primeval forest. For the time being, he had not encountered any geniuses from other worlds. At the same time, he didn't know where these guys were. Therefore, Su Yang didn't have any direction and could only move freely. He randomly picked a direction and walked down. On the other side, Yan Fen's team of 6. After entering the ranking battlefield, everyone was separated. At this moment, Yan Fen was communicating with the rest of the team through the communication device. After a while, the other 5 people contacted each other and agreed on the location. Yan Fen looked around and rushed in the direction they had agreed on. After a short while, Su Yang held the heart cutter in his hand and looked at the fiery red figure that had suddenly appeared from the dense forest. He looked like a human, but his skin was indeed fiery red, and his hair was burning. This should be a participant from another world. He didn't expect to meet a person from another world so soon. Yan Fen was also a little confused. He did not expect to meet its final target so soon. However, he quickly regained his composure. He glanced at Su Yang indifferently and said contemptuously, with a ball of fire in his hand, "Human, you're unlucky to have met me so quickly. I'll give you a chance. That way you'll suffer less. Don't even think about escaping. You have no chance in front of my divine flames." He was very confident that he had enough strength to suppress the human in front of him. Hey. Su Yang sneered and did not say much. He directly waved the Heart Slayer and tried to slash at Yan Fen. A ray of saber kai slashed out and instantly struck Yan Fen from above. However, Yan Fen, who had been hit, was not killed as expected. Yan Fen, which had been cut into pieces, turned into flames and recovered after a while. Human, it's useless. Your attacks are ineffective against me." After sensing Su Yang's attack, Yan Fen didn't feel anything, and the gaze she looked at Su Yang with was even more disdainful. He wanted to subdue Su Yang directly, so he needed to show his powerful strength to make him despair until he surrendered. Therefore, he wanted to let Su Yang know that his attack was useless against it. Chapter 67, Chapter 67, A Single Slash, Supreme Divine Flame. Fuck, this foreign being's body was actually made of fire. Could it be that physical attacks were ineffective against him? Heavenly Son is in trouble. So this is a genius of the alien race. Can Heavenly Son defeat it? The humans of the blue planet, who had been paying attention to the ranking battlefield, saw that Su Yang's attack had no effect, especially when he saw that Yan Fen's body had turned into flames and could even recover on its own. He was extremely worried. "Very good," he said. On the golden throne, the Flame Master nodded his head when he saw this scene. The Fire Clan has a body of flames and is immune to physical attacks. We have a huge advantage in low-level battles. That's right. Without special methods and abilities, it's hard to deal with the bodies of the Fire Clan. This human is using physical blade attacks. I wonder how he'll deal with Yan Fen. If there's no other way, he'll just end it here. In the void, the powerhouses who saw this scene sent out their own introductions. Haha, the flames that Yan Fen's body condensed are divine flames. Any method or ability that can cause harm to the Fire Clan is useless against it. I wonder how this human will deal with it. A character who can complete the advancement of myth shouldn't be that simple. In the abyss, the Nether Lord chuckled and easily revealed Yan Fen's information. Nether Lord. Upon hearing that the Nether Lord was still disclosing the information of the geniuses in his tribe, the Flame Master, who was seated on the golden throne, widened his eyes that were burning with flames. At this moment, he was already angry. Immune to physical attacks. No effect, hee. Su Yang couldn't help but laugh when he saw the disdainful look on Yan Fen's face. Then he clenched the Heart Slayer tightly and calmly felt the sharpness of the blade. At this moment, the Void Slayer characteristic was gradually condensing on the blade of Heart Slayer. A true expert can even cut through flames. Can you block this attack? Su Yang's eyes instantly opened, and he rushed forward with Heart Slayer in his hand, slashing at Death Flame. It's useless. Any physical attack is useless against me. Yan Fen looked at Su Yang as he continued to swing his knife, and the corners of his mouth carried a mocking smile. However, before he could finish his sentence, the blade that could cut through all nothingness had already passed through his body. This time, it had indeed slashed his body. Even if its flaming body was formed from the top 10 divine flames, it was useless. How is that possible? Why could it attack to my body? Yan Fen lowered his head in disbelief and looked at the body that had been cut into pieces. His body, which was immune to all physical attacks, was actually shattered by a single slash. And he couldn't be healed, he couldn't be restored. This was completely beyond his imagination. He had never thought that he would one day be hit by a physical attack, the most ordinary attack. He had never thought that he, who was immune to all physical attacks, would die in one strike. When Yan Fen was hit, true damage, heavy injury, silence, seal, and other effects would be added. Countless of Su Yang's passive skills and the effects of Heart Slayer instantly burst out. Yan Fen didn't even have the slightest chance to resist. The two balls of divine flame that had been split apart seemed to be trying to fuse back together. However, he was unable to do so. In the end, Yan Fen could only die with unwillingness. The two balls of divine flame were still burning, but they were weakening. Successfully killed Yan Fen, Fire Clan. Gained 27,642,451 experience points. Received 10,000 gold coins. Acquired 60 intelligence. Acquired burning special ability, Supreme Divine Flame. My God, Heavenly Son killed this alien genius just like that. What had happened? Isn't he immune to physical attacks? WTF, Heavenly Son is too terrifying. He killed the fireman who was immune to physical attacks with just one strike. The front and back don't seem to be any different. I don't understand. Is this the #1 in the world, the strongest existence on the blue planet? On the blue planet, the people who were watching the battle between Su Yang and Yan Fen were extremely excited after seeing Yan Fen being killed in one strike. Some professionals who were not weak even wanted to analyze Su Yang's strength, but they had no clue and could not understand it at all. Do you guys understand? That power seems to be the power of laws. Ha ha ha, Don't Cry is an existence that has completed the mythical advancement mission. We have underestimated him. In a month's time, he has actually grown to such a level. It's simply unbelievable. In the air, the powerhouses who were watching the ranking battle started to take Su Yang seriously again. At first, they simply thought that Su Yang had completed the mythical advancement mission by luck. Moreover, in a month's time, his strength could not be much stronger at all. However, the current situation made them understand that they absolutely couldn't underestimate an existence that could complete the advanced mythical mission. Ha ha ha, this is the existence of someone who can complete the advanced mythical mission. There's a possibility of transcending. In the abyss, the Nether Lord chuckled twice. A red light flashed in his eyes as he pondered. Yan Fen. On the golden throne, after the Flame Master saw that Yan Fen had been killed by Su Yang in an instant, the flames on his body began to boil. Special ability. Supreme Divine Flame. At this moment, Su Yang glanced at the two divine flames that had not yet dissipated and looked at the special ability that he had taken from it. Supreme Divine Flame. A level mythical. Type Divine Fire Mystical Fire. Effect Divine Void Flame, mastering the ability of the Supreme Divine Flame. Introduction 7th on the Divine Fire list of Heaven. Is it an ability similar to an Esper's ability? It can be used at will. Su Yang waved his hand, and the expected red color did not appear. Instead, a light blue flame appeared in his palm. This was the true color of the Supreme Divine Flame. Looking at the Supreme Divine Flame in his palm, Su Yang felt that he could rely on it to create different moves. That's a very good ability. Su Yang casually played with it in his palm and nodded with a smile. Then he clenched his fist and felt the power of the Supreme Divine Flame. He then waved it forward. Flame Fist. A light blue Supreme Divine Flame condensed into a fist and quickly flew out. Boom! With a loud boom, a thick tree in front of him was instantly shattered. It's quite powerful. Su Yang raised his eyebrows and nodded. In the void, the powerhouses who were watching Su Yang's strange actions could no longer remain calm. Chapter 68, Chapter 68, Divine Flame Slash. The power to access the rank, the Sealers. How is this possible? That's the Supreme Divine Flame. He actually obtained Yan Fen's Supreme Divine Flame. There's a problem with this human, a huge problem. He can actually steal other people's abilities. Plundering ability, it was too dangerous. I'm afraid something big is going to happen in the ranking battle this time. The powerhouse players in the void were shocked when they saw the divine flames Su Yang had created. At this moment, they had a premonition that there might be a big problem in the ranking battle this time. Plundering other people's abilities. This human is truly a terrifying existence. In the abyss, the Nether Lord also noticed this scene. His gaze was somewhat grave as he muttered to himself in a low voice. Tai Yuan has the ability to devour and plunder. He should be able to deal with this human. The Nether Lord's tone no longer had the look of someone who was waiting for a good show. The scene of Su Yang killing Yan Fen in a second made him have no choice but to be formal, even though part of this was because Yan Fen was too full of himself. However, Su Yang was able to kill the genius of the Fire Clan, Yan Fen, in one strike. It was definitely not as simple as he had thought. Supreme Divine Flame. Fuck Yan Fen, that trash. On the golden throne, the Flame Master, who was already furious, became even angrier after seeing Su Yang's supreme divine flame. If not for the restrictions of the rules of heaven, he might have already taken action personally. Although the power of the flame fist was not bad, in Su Yang's opinion, the supreme divine flame did not seem to have much effect on his strength. Obtaining the supreme divine flame had only expanded his abilities. However, he had a strange feeling about the supreme divine flame. With this feeling, Su Yang closed his eyes and pondered, carefully feeling the subtle feeling. Perhaps the supreme divine flame had another use for him. He carefully comprehended it for a moment. Soon he opened his eyes and brandished Heart Slayer. The supreme divine flame could instantly gather on Heart Slayer. The raging fire blade intent was unleashed, soaking the supreme divine flame on the body of Heart Slayer. The combination of blade intent and divine flames. It transformed into an even more powerful force. He then waved his hand, and this attack was enhanced by the raging fire blade intent. Blade Kai, which was immersed in supreme divine flames, slashed out. In an instant, the rows of towering trees in front of him were all cut in half. At the same time, the supreme divine flame attached itself to the tree and burned without restriction. This kind of divine flame, which was ranked among the top, could not be extinguished by ordinary methods. Su Yang's mind moved, and the supreme divine flame burning on the tree was instantly extinguished. A blazing boulder intent proficiency increased. It successfully touched the level of fire. Inferno blade technique is affected by the supreme divine flame. Level up. A fiery blade technique has reached level 10. Acquired new skill divine flame / diamond. A divine flame / a level diamond. Type saint level sword skill type attack. Divine flame / Su Yang's eyes were moved. He used his heart to feel it and discovered that the power of the supreme divine flame in his body had actually fused with the raging inferno boulder intent. I didn't expect that following my feelings and trying out the supreme divine flame would actually give me such a great harvest. Su Yang was very happy with such a harvest. The diamond skill was also known as a saint skill. It was already in existence that was on par with a god-level skill. Any higher and it would be a god-level skill. Although he already had a god-level skill, he had gotten it by luck by opening a treasure chest. As for the divine flame / he had relied on his own comprehension and hard work to raise a skill to a rank that was only second to a god-level skill. These two different ways of obtaining these skills felt different. The latter had a higher sense of achievement. After calming down, Su Yang recalled the previous hint and used his delusion breaker eye to check the proficiency of his saber intent. Raging fire blade intent, 84%, gale blade intent, 66%, thunder blade intent, 22%, water-type blade intent, 17%. 84% fire proficiency, the power to touch the rank of fire. So the increase in blade intent proficiency also has the power to touch the rank. After understanding this, Su Yang's eyes lit up and he was extremely excited. What he didn't know was that what was happening to him had shocked the experts of the various realms who were watching the ranking battlefield. That is, his blade intent can already touch the power of a higher rank. Terrifying, a monster. This human from the blue planet was too terrifying. He was only a silver rank. He's actually able to touch the higher rank. Something big is going to happen. The ranking battle started too quickly. We still know too little about him. It's too late. However, he's alone. We have so many geniuses. How can we not deal with him? He only just touched the power of rank. Don't make such a fuss. Yeah, he hasn't fully mastered it yet. However, for a silver tier existence to be able to touch the rank, it's truly terrifying. The people in the void were shocked when they saw that Su Yang's blade intent actually had the power of rank. Most of them were existences who had mastered the power of their ranks. It was because of this that they knew how difficult it was to touch or master the power of a rank. That's someone from the Magus world, right? However, the ability to seal monsters in cards. An expert who was paying attention to the battlefield noticed the scene from another position and whispered, "Sealers, yet another sealer has been born in the Magus world. Wizard Master, your Magus world is quite ambitious this time." The other powerhouses also looked at the card. Someone recognized the ability to seal the monster in the card. He looked at the wizarding world and asked, Chapter 69, Chapter 69, The Strange Ability of the Wizard Clan. Magic Card Seal. It's such a strange ability. The Magus clan is proficient in control-type innate abilities, and among them, the ones known as sealers are the most powerful. They sent sealers. Could it be that they want to use the magic card to seal and enslave this human? I think the wizard clan has a big conspiracy. It's definitely not that simple. After learning that the wizard group had sent a sealer to participate in the ranking battle, the eyes of the experts who were paying attention to the ranking battle turned gloomy as they tried to guess the wizard ancestors' intentions. Within the Magus realm, the wizard ancestor's expression was calm, and he did not respond. However, when he looked at the ranking battlefield and the situation of his race's participants, he whispered, "The witchcraft is not bad. I hope they are not as arrogant as Yan Fen." The ranking battlefield within the desolate savage region. At this moment, the 7 members of the wizard clan had gathered together. Apart from being proficient in controlling and sealing abilities, the Magus race was also quite talented in the areas of deduction and prediction. The wizard tribe's 7 contestants quickly gathered together by relying on this ability. Do you want to calculate where that human is? Isn't it too early to look for that human now? Perhaps we should reduce our competitors in advance. Wu Fa, tell us, what should we do next? Right, Wu Fa, the wizard ancestor asked you to lead the team, so you can make the decision. The 7 participants of the wizard world gathered together, discussing what to do next. One of the young men with delicate features and a feminine appearance spoke. First, calculate the location of that human. After that, we'll calculate the location of the few people that the old ancestor asked us to pay attention to. That's right, let's get a hold of their location first. In the wizarding world, the rest of the people who stayed behind nodded and began to calculate with their eyes closed after hearing what Magus said. After a while, one of them opened his eyes in horror. He couldn't believe the result of his calculation. He seemed to feel that something was wrong, so he closed his eyes again and began to calculate again. Wu Fa and the others had also noticed his unusual behavior. Liu Zai, whose information are you in charge of calculating? Wu Fa asked. He is divining the information of the Yan clan's genius, Yan Fen, that the old ancestor asked us to pay attention to. Soon, someone helped Liu Zai reply. Yan Fen, it's him. Wu Fa was deep in thought. At this time, Liu Zai, who had recalculated Yan Fen's information, opened his eyes again, and the horror in his eyes did not reduce. He looked at Wu Fa in disbelief and said, Yan Fen is dead. He's dead. How is that possible? The ancestor said that Yan Fen of the Fire Clan was born with a supreme divine flame. He rarely has any opponents at the same level. How did he die just after entering the ranking battle? Yan Fen is a genius among the younger generation in the heaven that is as famous as the Magus. How could he have died so easily? That can't be. Wu Liu Zai, did you make a mistake in your calculations? When the other 5 wizards heard the news, their first reaction was disbelief. Wu Liu's calculations are correct. Yan Fen is really dead. At this moment, Wu Fa spoke. Just now, he had also made some calculations, and the information he had received indeed showed that Yan Fen was dead. The approximate location of Yan Fen's death was very close to the location of that human. Could it be? Another wizard who was responsible for collecting information said, "It seems that the guy who completed the mythical advancement in the blue planet in the new district is not as simple as I thought. Pay attention and don't underestimate the enemy." Wu Fa frowned and warned. After thinking for a moment, he continued, "Spread the information of that human's location and let the participants from the other realms test the waters first." The other 6 participants nodded in agreement. Su Yang sighed. After feeling the power of the divine flame slash, he glanced at the 2 balls of flames left behind after Yan Fen's death. He noticed the object inside the flame, approached it, and picked it up. Acquired red flame sword gold. Acquired space ring. Acquired Tinder communication device. Even though Yan Fen was not a boss monster, however, as a genius from the upper realm, he still carried some treasures with him. Now that he were killed by Su Yang, these treasures naturally belonged to him. A golden longsword, an interspatial ring, and a communication device. Su Yang smiled as he looked at the 3 items that came out of the ball of fire. A scarlet flame sword. A level gold. Effect 1. Fire attack power increased by 200%. Effect 2. Burn. The target will enter a burning state. Effect 3. Crimson light slash. 10% chance to increase damage by 10 times. A pretty good gold longsword. After reading the Scarlet Flame Sword's information, Su Yang nodded and threw it to Heart Slayer to devour. After a short while, your life weapon's strength has been enhanced. Received feedback from life weapon. Acquired a large amount of experience points. Level increased. Current level LV 39. Received 300 independent attribute points. Level increased. Current level LV 40. Received 300 independent attribute points. After Heart Slayer devoured and absorbed the gold-grade Scarlet Flame Sword, it gave Su Yang a large amount of experience, directly allowing him to level up 2 times. As expected of a gold weapon, it has so much energy. Su Yang was a little surprised. Now he needed a huge amount of experience to level up. Unexpectedly, after Heart Slayer devoured this weapon, it actually allowed him to level up 2 times. It was an unexpected surprise. After distributing the attribute points, Su Yang looked at the space ring. So many gold coins. It's about 700,000, 800,000 gold coins. Also, there are ores and gemstones. After a simple check, the smile on Su Yang's face could not stop. There were a large number of gold coins and various types of ores and gemstones in the burning space ring. He transferred the gold coins into his ring of glory. Gold coins. 840,000 gold coins. If I swallow all of it to level up, I can level up 2 more times. Looking at the gold coins that he had gained, Su Yang was extremely happy. Of course, he wouldn't really use gold coins to level up. It was such a waste. With the ability to swallow gold, he definitely had to use these gold coins to increase his level and saber intent proficiency. These upper realm prodigies may not be very powerful, and all of them are very arrogant, but they are very rich. Not bad, not bad. Su Yang, who had just received a huge sum of more than 800,000 gold coins, thought of the many geniuses from the upper realm in the ranking battlefield. All of these geniuses definitely had a lot of gold coins on them. Thinking of this, Su Yang's eyes were filled with excitement. Then he looked at the ores and gemstones in the ring. These might have some value, but they were not of much use to him, so he put them in his interspatial ring for the time being. After putting away the ring, Su Yang's eyes fell on the last Tinder communication device. The communication device. To contact companions her. I might even be able to find some of this fellow's companions. Thinking of this, Su Yang's face revealed a cold smile. Chapter 70, Chapter 70, Unlimited Growth Talent. Su Yang was worried about how he could find the participants of the ranking battle. Now he had this Tinder communication device. He didn't need to search aimlessly anymore. In this direction should we meet? With the help of the delusion breaker eye, Su Yang quickly counted some of the information on the Tinder communication device. After understanding the gathering point of the Yan clan's participants, Su Yang turned around and began to head towards the gathering point of the Yan clan. Ha, old man Yan, I'm afraid that your Yan clan is going to be annihilated this time. After noticing Su Yang's direction of movement, the powerhouses in the void who were paying attention to the ranking battlefield all looked in the direction of the Yan region. The Nether Lord in the deep abyss even laughed mockingly. HMPH, a bunch of trash. On the golden throne, the Flame Master's entire body was burning with golden flames. His eyes were filled with rage. Faced with the ridicule of the Nether Lord of the deep abyss, he didn't say much. He just looked at the ranking field in silence, where the contestants from the Fire Clan were. He didn't have much hope for these participants from the Fire Clan. He didn't care if all the geniuses who couldn't contribute to the Fire Clan died. In any case, these monstrous geniuses would appear every once in a while. Perhaps he would only pay attention to it if he could complete the mythical advancement mission when he was Iron Level 10. The rest were all trash. However, it would take tens of millions of years before one could be born. It was too rare. What made him angry was that he had lost his face among his peers. Therefore, when he looked at the participants from the wizard tribe and other realms in the ranking battlefield, he hoped that they would all be killed by Su Yang. In the ranking battlefield, with the help of Yan Fen's communication device, Su Yang quickly arrived at the gathering place of the Fire Clan participants. He let little Zai out and hid it with its special skill. He wanted to scout out the situation before making his move. At this moment, from Su Yang's point of view, these 5 people were like Yan Fen, and their bodies were all condensed from flames. They were the participants of the Fire Clan. Why hasn't Yan Fen arrived yet? Isn't he our leader? Shouldn't you have come earlier? Did something happen? How is that possible? Yan Fen is invincible among those of the same level. It even fought against an overlord-level existence before and escaped safely. Who can pose a threat to it on the battlefield? Then, why isn't he here yet? There's no response from the communication device either. The 5 participants from the Fire Clan could not help but start a discussion when Yan Fen did not arrive after a long time. With little Zai's special ability, Su Yang had a clear grasp of the situation of these contestants. One is at level 48, two are at level 46, and the last two are at level 42. Among my basic attributes, my intelligence is over 1,000. The highest one is over 2,000. It seems like the main attribute of the Fire Clan is intelligence. Looking at their situation, they should have completed the advancement of the Overlord realm. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called geniuses. With the help of the Delusion Breaker, Su Yang casually scanned the 5 members of the Fire Tribe and obtained their information. After confirming that there was no threat, Su Yang appeared with the Heart Slayer in his hand. "Who's there?" "Human, this is bad. Why is he here?" Seeing Su Yang's sudden appearance, the 5 participants from the Fire Clan cried out in surprise and quickly responded. But it was too late. Su Yang held Heart Slayer in his hand, and the Supreme Divine Flame instantly wrapped around the blade of Heart Slayer. With Void Slash's special characteristic, a Divine Flame cut was instantly slashed out. He directly swept away the 5 contestants of the Fire Clan. Supreme Divine Flame. How did the flame's ability appear in your place? My body. They didn't even have time to react before the 5 Fire Clan participants were cut into pieces. He looked at his body that had been shattered and was unable to reform, as well as the familiar Supreme Divine Flame. The 5 contestants of the Fire Clan seemed to have recalled something. Su Yang looked at them indifferently and didn't say anything. After a short while, their bodies turned into 2 balls of flames and died. Killed Yan Qing, Fire Clan. You've received 11,000 experience points. You received 4,000 gold coins. Received 50 intelligence. Acquired special ability from Yan Qing Green Flame. Acquired special ability from Yan Tu Fallen Flame. The Supreme Divine Flame devoured and merged with the Green Flame. It has been upgraded. Supreme Divine Flame devoured and fused with Fallen Flame. Received upgrade. The Supreme Divine Flame has transformed, and its power has increased greatly. Fiery Saber Intent has been affected by the transformation of the Supreme Divine Flame. The proficiency of Fiery Blade Intent has increased. Successfully touched the level of fire. Successfully comprehended the level of fire, 0.02%. Fire level increased, fire level 0.6%. Fire level increased, fire level 1%. As the 5 contestants from the Fire Clan were killed, Su Yang's unlimited growth talent was activated, directly snatching the special fire ability from their bodies. It was also because he possessed an even more powerful Supreme Divine Flame. The fire energy that had been stripped away was once again devoured by the Supreme Divine Flame, causing it to undergo a transformation and become much more powerful. At the same time, Su Yang's comprehension of the Raging Fire Blade Intent rapidly increased as it was affected by the Supreme Divine Flame's transformation. Soon, it reached 100%. It directly allowed him to comprehend the level of fire. Not only that, but after the special abilities of these special flames were devoured and fused, the energy that came back directly increased the level of his flames to 1%. At this moment, Su Yang felt that he had become the owner of the flame, and he could control the power of the flame at will. Even ordinary flames could display terrifying power under his command. After feeling his control over the fire, Su Yang checked the rank information of his fire. That's a wrap for this installment. Thank you all for watching and supporting Lord of the Stories. If you enjoyed this tale, please hit the like button, share it, and subscribe for more amazing stories. You can also explore other series updated daily in our playlists. Have a fantastic day and see you in the next episode.